Hey everyone, it's TVMayho here, and today we're going to talk about The Handmaid's Tale, the 4th episode. So like always, this next part is going to include spoilers, so if you haven't went to go watch The Handmaid's Tale, the 4th episode on Hulu yet, go ahead and go watch it and come back. Okay, so now we know that Offred's been locked in her room for 13 days ever since Miss Winifred sent her in her room and told her to not come out. Now, for me, I think that's super absurd. Like, you can punish someone, but like only for a couple days tops, maybe 5, 3, 2, something like that. But 13, that's a lot. Okay, and then she goes stir crazy and starts hiding in the freaking closet. And like, I would be worried. Obviously, they're not checking on her, but they should be, health-wise. And then, she starts talking about how the girl before her that wrote on the walls, it was super brave. I'm not sure why it was brave. The only reason why I could think it would be brave is maybe because of the sound of the scratching. But then to find out that the commander was the one that learned Latin and he could translate it, which is when we found out it meant don't let the bastards basically put you down. It kind of let us know that the Offred before June was also meeting up with the commander outside of regular hours. Really makes you wonder. Now here too, when Rita brought her food and Rita thought she had passed out, it was interesting to see that Miss Winifred didn't really care that she was passed out, but then when Rita started talking about the ceremony, it was all super important. Again, these women are only, she didn't want to call them concubines, she wanted to call them four-legged wombs, so we'll call them four-legged wombs. But they're just wombs to these people. When it comes to the ceremony, that's all that really matters. So then, at that point, she lets her go to the doctor. So then when she's at the doctor, obviously she gets all happy to be outside, which I would too, because you've been locked in your room for like more than 2 weeks. And then, of course, the doctor decides to get all handsy and stuff and decides to be like, oh yeah, I can save you from the commander. Let me help you because he's probably sterile anyway. We all know that was just his way of trying to get his own self some, because he probably can't have any because he's a doctor that probably doesn't get a lot of money, so he can't have his own handmaids. Interesting too to see when she actually went to the doctor, she wasn't called by her actual name Offred, she was called by Winifred, which lets you see that she isn't a person to these people, she's property. Okay, she doesn't even really have her own name, she's the property of her commander's family. So too, it was interesting to see that. Then of course we get the flashbacks of her in the Red Center, which to me is interesting too, because it's like a boot camp mixed with like, I don't know what you call it, but it would just be where they're learning these things. And it was interesting to see how they learned about the ceremony, because they were set up in the same ways. And then when the doctor wanted to say sterile, June wanted to point out that's a forbidden word. How many words are forbidden in this society? Sterile is something that actually happens to men and women. But I guess here in this part, it's like if you are sterile, no matter if you're a man or a woman, you kind of have like no purpose. But getting back to the commander real quick, when they're over there playing Scrabble, he talks about how the Offred before her apparently killed herself, and he's trying to make her life, the handmaid's life, more bearable, because the handmaid before her, she felt her life was unbearable. I mean, think about it. All you're basically doing is having sex with a guy you have no feelings for, and it's basically forced upon you so you can shoot kids out of your vagina. Like, that's the only purpose you have here. So I would feel pretty unbearable too, because you don't have a lot of purpose. This is your only sole purpose. And this is what you do day in and day out, outside of going grocery shopping with a girl that you can't really have a full-fledged conversation with because you're being watched. Which makes even more sense. If you guys ever noticed, every time the ceremony starts happening, June or Offred goes to a different time, to a different place. Either she starts thinking about the society before this started happening, or her time in the Red Center with Mora. Whatever makes her feel better, rather than the current situation that's happening, she goes to it. Which was sad to see too, how we saw how her and Mora got separated, because it looked like they were trying to escape, but then because Mora was the higher up, she was free to get on the train to Boston, while June ended up getting in trouble because she was out there by herself since everybody has to travel in pairs. But getting back to the appointment real quick, the interesting thing too about the appointment was it wasn't a full appointment. It wasn't like they were checking your heart rate and your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff that they normally do. There was literally a sheet covered like you were at the OBGYN, and all they were checking was your vagina. That was it. Okay, when she said she fainted and she was relatively okay, there was no other symptoms. All he did was check to see if she was ready to go for the ceremony, and the appointment was over. That was it. It was a wrap. Last thing I picked up at the end of this episode was when she decided to go see the commander. Even though she was supposed to be locked in her room, she decided, oh, let me go down there and talk to him and play Scrabble. Lo and behold, when she was in there, she found out about what the word meant in Latin, but also when he was talking about, bearable and unbearable, she decided, hey, let me take advantage of him being nice, okay, and I'm going to get him to get me out of my room because I'm sick and tired of being in my room. Lo and behold, it worked. She's not in her room anymore. Her life is back to normal. But now she kind of sees, though, that the commander has control. And she can kind of have control too at this point. And I think that's what she's starting to notice. So hopefully in the next episode, we'll see June take a little more of that control in a positive way to help her. Maybe she'll find off Glenn, or maybe she'll figure out a way to escape. Shoot, I don't know. But I hope it's something positive. These are some of the little things I picked up when I was watching the episode. You guys can like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys picked up in this episode or in the other episodes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And thanks for watching. See you next week and have a good day.